opportunities to understand pronunciation, how some words are omitted when speaking, and how some words are joined together, and the sounds of language. And then the next step is imitating. So when you imitate someone or copying them, it is a great way to improve your speaking skills. Look at how babies learn. Babies and children, they copy everything that an adult says. So another benefit of imitating is that it will help you become more accurate in English without having to learn grammar rules. So um, it's very important to watch how people speak and try to speak like them. Try to speak like them. And then another way is reading. Reading is another important skill to have when learning a language. So whether you prefer a novel or an article, reading a few minutes every day will help you acquire new vocabulary. So the most common reason why people hesitate with reading is that it takes quite a lot of time to read a book from start to finish. However, when learning English, reading even for a few minutes is greatly beneficial. So when you come across a new word, you open your dictionary and check the word. I used to read a dictionary when I was younger because I wanted to know every word. This really expands your vocabulary. So it helps you communicate better because you get to know um, the words that people say to you, right? And then another important way is to write. Writing is very important. You can write on your diary about how your day went, or um, writing anything, writing a story, or retelling a story in English. It can be anything about history or your own personal story. You can tell it in English. Okay, and then the next one is thinking in English. It really helps a lot because um, when you are trying to make a decision like, should I go to the mall or not? You should always think in English and do a self talk in English as well. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself in English. It really helps a lot. Um, so you need to speak English every day. It's all about practice. You need to get comfortable with speaking English. So practicing every day helps. It also helps. It also improves your pronunciation and uh, helps you with having a natural flow of English. And then another funny way is if you have an iPhone, talk to Siri. Talk to Siri. It's a great way to practice, just to get comfortable with speaking every day. And talking to Siri, no one will judge you if you are wrong. No one will judge you. And then I think the last step that I have is reflecting. Um, Reflecting is about asking questions to think about what you learned, how you learned, what progress you see. It's important to reflect on your language learning abilities on a daily basis because um, it is a way to provide yourself with some good feedback to see how you've been doing with learning a new language. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Now, before we end the show, let's invite the students to ask questions about today's
Yes.
talk show. You want to ask some questions?
Okay.
Get you can just get closer to the mic so we can hear you. Uh, From 10-1, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Okay, so we have a question right here from Nicholas Zuriel, multimedia team. Can you please show the question on the screen? So first question from Nicholas Zuriel. What if my English is already good and I can speak very well, but I have problems with my self-confidence? Is there anything I could do?
Okay, so I would suggest maybe trying to participating in public speaking, or maybe stand in front of a mirror and pretend that you are presenting something and do it confidently. Try to build that self confidence by looking at yourself on the mirror and speak the language. Speak the language, talk to Siri, talk to your friends, or debate clubs, take part in debate clubs. I also used to have a problem with that growing up. I had confidence problems. So I took part in a lot of debate competitions. So that really improved my confidence and um, being comfortable with speaking.
For your, thank you for your answer, Miss Neil. So, is there any questions from 10-1?
If we don't have any other questions, let's move forward to 10-2. Do you have any questions that you have to ask? Fabian, do you have any questions? You may move forward to the laptop if you cannot uh, write it in the chat room. So you can just open your mic if you need to. Seems like we don't have any questions right now.
Okay.
Can you wait for a while? Because our teacher's gonna call some students to ask some questions.
So, good. Oh, wait.
Uh, so good morning, Miss Neo. How are you?
Morning. I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
Great. I want to ask. I usually watch British and American YouTubers like Fanos Gaming, Soviet Womble, Jamski, and Smithy. Sometimes I do understand what they say, but the problem is when I try to speak or imitate them, it was kind of hard for me. and the jokes too. So how to improve it to know what they say like that. Thank you.
Um, Maybe just like I said, improving your listening is very important. So, in situations like that, you need to repeat something. You need to watch it over and over again and just try to comprehend it. Uh, yeah, it's best to always repeat if you don't understand. So I suggest repetition all the time.
Okay,
So
thanks
watch
for
those
this.
shows. It's actually yes, sorry. It's actually a great
Uh,
thing to watch um, English shows with subtitles. You can try to get something that has subtitles, right? You listen as you read. So I do that with um, every movie that I watch, even though I'm a native speaker, but I still need to have subtitles. I multitask, I watch, I read, and I listen. So that's a skill that you need to have in order to improve your English.
so okay, thank you, Miss, for the suggestion.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Okay, do we have any other questions for today's talk show? So far, we have two.
Can I just provide another skill? Um, I would also suggest using Google Translate. Google Translate is helpful. It is helpful because you translate what you want to say, uh, you save it wherever on your book. Yeah, that's just one point that I want to put out there.
All right, thank you for the, how do you say it?
Okay.
Do we not have any other questions that the students want to ask?
Maybe we can move forward to 10.3. 3. Do you have any other question?
Question here. If we follow your tips, for example, by initiating, how do you say, imitating others, does that ensure our English skills improve drastically?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Definitely, because that's definitely how I learned English. That's how I learned English as a child. Uh, you listen and repeat. You listen and repeat. I even picked up an accent from my teacher. I picked up an accent from my teacher. The way she spoke, I adapted that. I was so fascinated with how um, she spoke. So um, it's about practicing and listening and repeating what you hear. Listening and repeating what you hear helps a lot. It will really improve. That's one tip that is beneficial out of all of them, I would say.
All right, thank you. So moving forward to, oh, we have a question here from uh, 10-3. Multimedia team, can you please, uh, okay. How to speak with your, how to speak confident when you do conversation in English? Because sometimes I don't understand when someone talks about something, and I'm afraid of make of my grammar too.
Um, so I would suggest maybe trying to use Google Translate. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. When you don't understand, it's best to use Google Translate because I know that when I learn a new language, that's also quite a challenge for me. So it's beneficial to use Google Translate. That's one thing that you should have on your phone.
Okay, thank you for your tip. So, any other questions?
Any other question?
Maybe from 10-4 or 10-5 or 10-6.
Greetings. Good morning.
Good morning, yes.
I would like to ask a question.
Yes, yes.
Is there any applications from maybe a phone application or some like yes, just applications for us to improve our English? Is there any applications? Thank you.
Uh, okay, can you please just repeat your question for me? I'm not quite sure about that.
I'm sorry. Uh, is there any applications for us to improve our English? Maybe
Um, reading. Reading is one beneficial way to improve because when you read a book about something, um, you come across new phrases, new words, things that you don't know, and this will force you to open your dictionary and actually want to know what they are talking about, right? So, uh, reading is very important, and writing as well. Once you've read, you want to write, or after reading a book, uh, tell people about it. Tell people about it, and try to see if you can summarize the book. If you can summarize the book, and I need to emphasize on speaking every day. Find a speaking partner. Okay. Does that answer your question?
it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome.
All right. Do you have any other questions? Okay. Do you have any tips on how to improve your fluency? Especially if I don't have a partner to practice together with.
Um, maybe record your voice when you speak. Uh, yeah, record your voice when you speak. Uh, listen and read. Um, singing along to songs. Uh, watching movies and repeating what they say. and um, what other way? Practice, practice, practice. You need to just practice. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Any other
Okay.
questions, maybe? We so far have 5,
Good morning,
if I'm
Miss
not
Neil.
mistaken. All right.
Okay, my name is Alvin. So I got a question for you. So sometimes there's a lot of people out there who don't want to learn English, or plenty of people out there who can't speak English fluently. So my question is, how important is English in the future for the next generation? Thank you.
How important is English for the future generation?
Ada kamu? Ada.
Is that your question?
I'm sorry, Miss Neil.
Alvin, can
Yes,
you
sorry.
repeat your question so she
Yes,
can
yes,
understand?
please. Hmm.
My question is how important English for the future for the next generation.
Um, so English is a language. It is a global language, right? Um, it is everyone uses English to communicate. So it is important for you because you will use it professionally and for personal reasons as well. So you use it everywhere in science, computers, diplomacy, tourism, aviation. When you travel, you need to know how to ask for directions. You need to know what to say when um, taking when participating in anything or making business connections, you need to know how to speak English because you want to communicate with people from all over the world. So it's very important to learn English because it's used everywhere you go. It's used on the internet, it's used on shows, everywhere. So that's how important it is. You need to feed yourself with English because you will encounter it everywhere you go. Is that clear?
Thank you, Miss Neil.
Okay, welcome.
All right. So do we have any other questions, maybe? Hold up.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Yes, thank you. I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yes.
For me,
Yes, of course.
I like speaking English, but I think the main problem for most people that speaks English is that when they're talking, their grammar is not right. So I want to ask you if you have any tips for us to improve our grammar. Thank you.
Um, I think learning about grammar rules, learning about them helps a lot. You can, if you don't have a tutor and you are self-learning, um, it's really helpful to go on YouTube and watch grammar videos. Make it fun. Make it fun. Um, yes, that's what I would suggest. They have a lot of those, and maybe Google some. Um, it's very easy to learn that way, but YouTube is the best way to go. YouTube is the best way to learn. You learn almost everything on YouTube. So I would really suggest YouTube.
All right. Thank you for answering the question, Miss Neil. So, do you have any other questions maybe that you want to ask? Maybe any of the students want to ask more questions or something?
Hello, excuse me.
Do you want to ask some questions? Nero?
Hello, excuse me.
Hello.
Okay. I have some question. Did you think can some conversation approve our English?
Um, can you repeat your question, please?
Okay. Did you think can some conversation approve our English?
Proof. Yeah. I think he's saying that if we join in conversations, will it improve our English?
Okay, can you please repeat that? I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
I I think
Okay, okay. Okay, I repeat that again. Did you
Okay.
think can some conversation approve our English?
Oh, can some conversations improve your English?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, definitely. The most important skill is speaking, practicing, talking to your friends, listening to people's conversations, not eavesdropping, but just listening. You can watch anything on YouTube, people having a conversation, and try to just listen to that. And then you reflect, say, what did I hear? What did I learn? What new word did I learn? So you need to do a lot of speaking. You can, just like I mentioned, self-talk. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself, although you will not get answers from yourself. But just talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Talk to yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Talk about anything. Talk to your friends. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay, awesome.
I guess it answers his question. Any other questions maybe that you want to ask? Probably.
Me, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
So my question is, what if someone is already good at talking in English, but they have problem on how fast or slow when they talk? Because I'm the type of person who talk fast, and sometimes when I talk in English, it sounds gibberish and unclear. So how do I practice or fix that? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, I actually have the opposite problem. I speak very slow. So I do not really think that it matters that much because some people speak fast, some talk very slowly, but I would suggest using the correct punctuation and always stopping where you need to stop, you pause where you need to pause. I think it starts with reading. So you need to read, and when you read, you when you see a comma, you slow down, you pause, right? So maybe I don't know how you can slow down when you talk fast, but I think reading helps you practice because there's commas, there's a full stop, you know when to stop. You don't just say the whole paragraph, just go through the whole paragraph at one go. Uh, you need to know when to stop, when to, yes, your punctuation. Yeah.
Thank you. That really
Okay,
answered.
you're welcome. Okay. Also, I just want to add another point. I think maybe the reason why you are fast when speaking is that um, you overthink it. You stress a lot. Maybe like, oh, am I saying the correct thing? Oh, you panic. So I think you should relax and be confident in what you are saying.
Yes, I actually do that a lot. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
All right, I think we don't have any other questions, so now we can end today's show. So now to conclude today's show, we learned that imitating people also helps with English skills, and we can also learn by listening and also following people's conversations as well. Any other?
Do you want to add?
Okay, thank you for the time, Chelsea. So if I may give more some conclusions about what have Miss New spoken. So if we want to improve our English skills, it seems like we are like a baby, yeah? So the first thing a baby do is only listen, listening and listening, yeah? To get exposure to English language. After we listened, then we must practice by imitating people around us. So by imitating, we can learn to speak without thinking about the grammar. Yeah? And then the next step is reading. Read a lot to improve our vocabulary. And also next is we must write. Yeah? We can write about our diary, about our daily activities, or maybe personal story and other stories. And then the fifth one is thinking. So we must think, always think in English. Yeah, to talk to yourself in English. And the next one is about make use of gadget. Yeah, by using gadgets, we must be able to improve our English skill. And the last one is reflecting. So ask questions to yourself in English, of course. Yeah, that's the point that I can take from this talk show. Thank you, and I give it back to MC.
Okay, thank you for your conclusion, Mr. Henry. Ms. Neo, we're very grateful for your explanation about how we can improve our English skills, and thank you for your time.
We would also like to thank Mr. Henry for allowing us to host today's show.
We also appreciate all the questions the students have asked.
Thank you for listening until the end.
See you next time, and goodbye.
Salam Smart Booster. Halo, apa kabar untuk kita semua? Pada masa saat ini, meskipun kita masih dalam situasi pandemi, kita harus tetap jaga prokes, kemudian menghindari kerumunan dan juga mengurangi mobilitas untuk kesehatan diri kita sendiri dan juga orang-orang yang kita cintai. Perkenalkan, saya Maria Listinawati SPG, Kepala Sekolah SMA Katolik Untung Suropati Sidoarjo, atau biasa dikenal SMAK Unsur yang ada di Sidoarjo. Kami SMAK Untung Suropati berlokasi di Jalan Untung Suropati nomor 33 Sidoarjo dengan lokasi yang strategis di pusat kota Sidoarjo dan mudah dijangkau, dan memang lokasi kami ini sangat menguntungkan dan mudah untuk dicari. SMA Untung Suropati Sidoarjo memiliki visi membentuk pribadi berintegritas. Bagi kami sebagai sekolah Katolik ingin membentuk siswa kami yang telah dipercayakan kepada orang tua supaya anak-anak yang bersekolah di tempat kami ingin membentuk menjadi
Nope.